And we are live. So this is Peter Sweden, and I have Red Pill Phil with me today. I apologize for the bad video quality here. I am in Norway at the moment. It's good internet connection in Norway, but I am in a hotel and I don't have my best computer with me either. So the video quality is not that good. I also don't have a microphone, so the sound quality might not be that good as usual. I thought we would talk about today what happened at the FLA march in London, because Phil was there and saw it all. I would have liked to go there, but for obvious reasons, I'm in Norway, I couldn't be there, and I'm not coming back to the UK anymore. So our man on the ground at the FLA march, apparently there was a lot of people there, you told me, Phil. So what can you tell us? How was the march? How was the turnout? What happened?
Well, the official number was 73,000 people. That's the official number from the police. It was a march held between Park Lane and Westminster Bridge in London on Saturday, just gone. And can I just say, for the best part, it was a march that went off without any troubles. It was a march that all participants were felt non-threatened. Everyone enjoyed themselves. There was only a slight counter-protest, which they...
Was it Antifa?
No, it was like a racist, anti-racism organisation.
Was it the Unite Against Fascism?
No, I don't think it was. I've actually got... Oh, hold on. Here we go. Stand Up to Racism. That was who it was, okay? I'm actually using one of their flyers as a sheet to write notes. So there you go. Yeah, I should use it for toilet paper. It's got Gary Lineker's face on the bottom. And it's got like show racism, the red card. You know, and it's like, so what he's trying to say there is 73,000 people who attended that march were all racist. You know, it was a ridiculous...
73,000, that sounds like, that's quite a big number. That's probably the biggest turnout in the UK. I mean,
it was inspirational, Peter. I can't stop thinking about it. The buzz on the internet, since I've been uploading clips and since everyone else who's been filming, uploading clips has been, you know, circulating. It's been so exciting. So there's been 73,000. It's basically FLA, which is Football League Alliance. So this was all
Football League.
Football Lads. I'm sorry, Football Lads Alliance.
People keep asking in the live chat here what the FLA means.
Yes, Football Lads Alliance. Okay. There was a rally that was held in June, just after the Manchester bombings, which I do believe went well. So this was the second march. I think the numbers were up to like 10 and 20,000 on the first march. I don't think anyone was anticipating 73,000 people. It was well organised. There's the speakers. There was very good speakers there. There was veterans against extremism there. There was Gurkhas there. Like I say, because it was a Football Lads Alliance, it was football teams or football supporters from all walks of life, basically throughout Britain, whoever could make it. Some had really made the effort and made some like floral displays in the shape of their football crest and badges and whatnot. There was a hell of a lot of patrioticity there. There's a hell of a lot of respect there paid for the vets and everyone else. It was just a march that was trouble-free, Peter. It really was. There was certain medias there. There was BBC was there. Rebel Media was there. Tommy Robinson was there. And he gave a good portrayal. And there's been obviously some aftershocks from the mere presence of Tommy Robinson attending a march. How dare he? In the 21st century, how dare Tommy Robinson come out of his house? So there was a little...
You met Tommy Robinson there, I saw.
I did, yes. Yes, I had a little brief chat before the march started. And then as the march was commencing, as I was walking around doing my little bits of filming and chatting and stuff, he was interviewing at the side. Next thing you know, he was next to me with the microphone and kind of asking me questions and stuff. So, yeah, I found him to be a great guy. You know, I didn't really need to meet him for that anyway, because I've seen enough stuff over the years. I've seen lectures that he's done, seminars that he's done, his own little documentaries. I've looked up little bits of Bob's myself. So I've built up a picture to know when I can see someone who is sincere and someone who is not sincere. And I've always thought him to be a straight-up geezer who's got genuine concerns. But them concerns, because of maybe bad PR over the past years and maybe bad decisions made, has had kind of mud slung at him, and kind of that mud has stuck over the years. So it's almost like what Tommy says now, whatever he done, 10 years ago, which maybe he might look at now and think, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have played it that way. They're going to refer back to there.
Well, it's the ideal stuff that he did that really they're trying to sling mud at him for.
Yeah.
It's quite understandable, because I've been covering some EDL marches, and I'm going to be completely honest, EDL is not very, it's not very, what do you say, not very good optics. You can say that for sure. They're kind of football hooligans kind of guys with drinking beer, smoking, playing loud rock music and so on. So you met Tommy, and I understand there was some there was this organizer, I think, of the FLA march, Phil Campion or something.
Phil Campion.
And there was some dispute there with him and Tommy Robinson, I understand. Do you know anything more about that?
Yes. Oh wow, where do you start with that one, Peter? Because really, that issue has overshadowed the actual march, what the march represented, and the after feeling and sentiment of that march. And it's a shame that Phil Campion has done a certain thing that has really, dampened the mood, let's say. So one of the speakers was an ex-SAS, ex-militaryman, Phil Campion. He's been known to come out on mainstream media and speak out, against what's been going on in this country and the globe, really. Particularly, you notably see him when events first happen, when they have the kind of rolling 24-hour news, and they kind of bring in all kinds of pundits from all kinds of fields.
Because I've actually never heard of him before.
Right, okay. Yeah, I've seen him more on Sky News, but I'm sure he's been on other news outlets as well. And he is quite highly thought of as well. He's a tough-talking militaryman. When you see him, he's got quite a big stature about him. They call him Big Phil Campion. When you listen to his words, he speaks like a modern-day Winston Churchill. He's got that no surrender about his demeanour, about the way he kind of approaches himself. So he's very influential as a speaker. He's very inspirational as a speaker. He actually done a brilliant job as speaking on the day. He, for me, was the best speaker, Peter. He made me, without a doubt. There was many speakers there, and they were all good. So I'm not going to say any of them was bad. But he was the most uplifting, the most empowering by any means.
Okay.
So,
and he called Tommy Robinson a racist, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. There at the march.
Yeah. Well, yes. So what's happened is Tommy Robinson apparently was told pre the event not to come and not to speak. Now, I think the decision has been made, whether it be by the FLA and Pete Campion in conjunction, and the rest of the speakers in conjunction, or just the LFA, or just Pete Campion. The decision was made not to invite him, to come in a professional capacity. So when Tommy arrived, he arrived under the banner of Rebel Media. He come as a news correspondent. He was just literally walking about, talking to people. He had an instant buzz. People connected straight away. There was nothing, no hatred towards him. Everybody loved him, Peter. So this is the irony of the situation. The report that he actually gave, which I've later seen, I've seen his report on the day. It was a brilliant report. The way he pictured the whole event, I thought he was top. He didn't have anything negative or derogatory to say about any of the speakers or any of the organisers. He put it across in a fair and open way. Basically, he joined into the atmosphere of the event. He didn't take anything away from that event, okay? So that was the scene. Now, I don't know whether there was any interaction between him and Phil Campion over the duration of that day. I've really no idea. All I know is a couple of days later, a day or so later, find out he's done a live stream, Peter Campion, on the Saturday evening, bearing in mind this event was a Saturday day. And he's basically he's basically branded Tommy Robinson a racist. Now, he didn't brand. I'm going to be semantical here. He himself, Pete Campion, did not brand him a racist, but his words said, "You are branded a racist." So he's basically saying the general establishment, and basically, all liberals generally, regard you as some kind of racist. So I don't want any affiliation with you. That's kind of what he was actually saying.
The thing is with this, it seems to me, especially in England, among these kind of right-wing figures or celebrities, if you will, there's a lot of infighting going on. They're all trying to boost their own egos and boost their own brand and on everyone else. That's what it seems to me a lot, especially in the UK, what they're doing, and that's a very effective method of dividing and conquering. Infiltrating the right and destroying it, basically. I think it's not just this infighting here between Tommy and Campion. I mean, the other big thing that's been going, between me and Anne-Marie Waters. she lost the election in UKIP, which I think was good, because that would have just being in general, I think, in the UK. She started attacking me publicly in the UK, and me and her, maybe Tommy and a few others are some of the most high-profile right-wing figures in the UK, and she started attacking me. And now she's been attacking Kaelin as well. Kaelin, from the guy who used to work at Rebel Media. And also this Jack Buckby guy. He attacked me as well. I found out later he was actually quite a lot behind the attacks on me. But yeah, I think you said he was there as well, Jack, during the march. I guess with the Rebel Media he's working for now.
Yeah, Jack was there. I had a little chat with him. You know what, mate? What I do find at the moment, I find it really strange that I think the people that are really let down at the moment is the public, because the public are the ones that want all these figures to get themselves together, stop pulling each other apart, stop finding little ways to get at each other, stop finding, egos that inflate, stop finding, ways to kind of demean whatever. just get on with the job. People are waiting and looking up to you. We need movement, and there's going to be no movement at all with people just pulling each other down. I mean, that's the thing that kind of hits home from me. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I love you, Peter, but we do disagree when it comes to Anne-Marie Waters. I mean, I know you've had a personal spats, and fair play. You know, whatever's been said between you guys, that's fair enough. But I happen to think that UKIP, I can understand why they didn't put her in power, in a sense that they've gone almost like pro-establishment now, and they don't want to be seen to be going too heavy. Just like the Phil Campion, I think he's done the same thing. I think he's distanced himself from Tommy because he wants to kind of still be in with the establishment, but he wants the scene to be kind of kicking ass. So I think the decisions there are a bit wrong. I mean, personally, Anne-Marie Waters, I think she was approaching UKIP. Maybe some people regard the rhetoric as a bit hardcore, but in certain areas, I think she was kind of bob on. But you know, everyone has.
Anne-Marie Waters was right on some points. I'm not saying that at all. Anne-Marie Waters, though, to me, she is basically a leftist, but she hates Islam, basically. But she's left wing on all other points. But to me, she's a left wing SJW, but she is against Islam. That's her only point. and I think what happened. This is my opinion, Anne-Marie. I think what happened with the UKIP is because she was anti-Islam, they branded her as far right, Nazi, whatever. Which is obviously not true. She is, in fact, I think, far left. But that's what the media branded her as this far right Nazi because she was against Islam. And then I think that's, to be honest, I think that's quite a clever move of the media and of the left, because if they brand someone like Anne-Marie Waters, if they make people think that she is actually far right, when she's in fact left wing, that's kind of how they can kind of push the Overton window towards the left, if you see what I mean. Okay, now this Anne-Marie Waters now becomes the new standard for what is a Nazi. But in fact, she is a lesbian feminist. So if that is what is a Nazi, I kind of say that the Nazis are not bringing their best Nazis.
Well, I just find that the media they do it all the time to us, and we can't help but do it to ourselves because they keep doing it to us. They keep telling us we're left, they keep telling us we're right, they keep telling us we're centre, we're black, we're white, we're white. And people are seeing through all these titles now. I don't regard myself as far right. I don't even regard myself as right. If I'm going to actually tag myself to anything, and I don't tag myself to anything, I would tag myself to being a more libertarian kind of way of thinking. But at the same time, I can get with the camps on both sides because there are qualities on both sides. But they've polarized every political matter now, where it's like you're on this road and you've got to pick one side of the road or the other. There's no in between. Soon as you make a certain comment, oh, that's regarded as left. Oh, that's regarded as right. And people just don't want them titles. I mean, going back to these 73,000 people in this march, how many of them would really regard themselves as right wing? In terms that right wing is something 2-3 years ago I didn't even really regard in society. It was an old concept, the right and left. if you know what I mean. Politics is politics, and you've got your different sides. But I don't ever remember it being so flagrantly used, as in polarized. You know?
No, but the leftists used to try and well, scare everyone. There was actually a survey out in Sweden saying that 20% of Swedish people are apparently afraid of Nazis. 20% of the Swedish people are afraid of Nazis coming to beat them up or something. According to
you know,
it's Sweden.
You can you imagine? Of all places, you know, it's like sometimes, mate, I feel like I need the music of the Twilight Zone just in a continual loop. Because when people say things, just like you said that there, I just need to, you know, it's just the world is just going in a crazy cycle. To try and kind of be, still have a moral compass in everything that's going wrong around you. It's hard work. Hard work. I've got to apologise. Got a really bad cough.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no, I guess the people, if you just joined, guys, the video quality isn't too good today. I don't have a mic either, so the quality is not that good today for the live stream, but it's sort of better to do a live stream than none at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Please leave a like, share this video with your friends, subscribe if you've done so, so we can get some more viewers here as well. Yeah, so back to the march again. I mean, you said there were 73,000 people in the march. The thing I actually saw in the news, this attack or incident or accident or whatever they label it, around the same time that the march was taking place. There was this car outside the Natural History Museum which drove into some people. I don't know if you heard about. Did you hear about that when you were there? Because people
we did first, indeed. Yeah, we did indeed. The march. Sorry, mate. Carry on. Go on.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, people thought at first that was a quite obvious terror attack because there was a car that plowed into a crowd of people. But then later on, and a guy arrested, he looked kind of North African, Middle Eastern appearance kind of as well. So people kind of thought that it was a terror attack. But then the police goes out later on saying, no, it's just an accident. And I don't know about that. I'm feeling a little bit skeptical, to be honest.
Aren't we all, mate? With the amount of people injured, do you attribute that to an accident? I'm not saying that accidents can't occur where you can affect so many people, but then you've got to put, if so many people were injured, then how much of it was an accident as opposed to it being a deliberate act? You know, what do you regard as an accident? Oh, my foot slipped on the accelerator while I was shouting Allah Akbar. Is that an accident? I mean, you know, I'm not saying that occurred, but I mean, yeah, I mean, when we first found out about it, the march had just finished. We just reached Westminster Bridge. The speeches had already commenced. So people were just walking around, congregating. Now, ironically, we just passed all the stand up to fascism. So we'd already passed them, like, and my thought at the time, I was actually speaking to a very good little journalist, Jonah English. I met her on the Bristol March. I was having a chat with her at the time, and we actually come up with an idea of actually turning back and heading back to where this group of lefties was, and to try and inform him, did you know that this attack or this potential attack had just occurred, and how do you feel about it? And in context of the march that we're attending now, how do you feel about basically, you know, being the opposition, when in reality another terror attack could have occurred a few miles away at the same time? So we kind of, in lifetime, we kind of made our way to where they was, but they'd made a way off by then. So it's a bit of a pity that we didn't get to grips with them. But yeah, I mean, what do you do, mate? You know, the irony is unbelievable when you think about it. We're actually there protesting silently, peacefully. Yeah, so we're not the haters. We're not the ones inciting any whatever. And then there's an attack. You could question whether they've dampened it, whether they've not, you know. I've not heard too much about it since. But I'm sure people have got their own suspicions. But for me, which one is more hatred? Which one is designed more as hatred towards people? You know, innocent people. Our march, or what that potentially terrorist attack had done with that car. So this is what really you can, if you've got common sense and you've got critical thinking, you can work that out to a degree. Even if this isn't a genuine attack, it doesn't really matter. Let's just swipe that attack out the way, and let's put in another attack that has taken place. Say one that did happen on the bridge with a van. Let's put that one in. So you can't, it doesn't matter, you can fact check it all you want. I can bring in another fact that'll bring it back up again. So, you know, who's the one that's portraying the hatred here? And that's why we're there. That's why 73,000 people turned up, because we're all worried about our daughters with grooming. We're all worried about, you know, our mothers, our fathers, everything. You know, people being acid attacked, being knife attacked, our liberties being changed, the fact you can't fly your flag, the fact you can't say certain things because of political correctness. And I'm sure people are identifying with all different types of points and going, yeah, I'll go to that match because of that, you know? So there's no hatred. No hatred, but yet we still keep getting attacked, and still we've got to do silent marches. We can't voice our opinion. So, you know, even though the march was as big as it was a silent march. It should be a shouting and screaming from the frigging rooftop march. You know what I mean? Because there would have been a lot of people there, tourists, you know, a lot of tourists rolling around. They wouldn't have known exactly what was going on. There was no way of identifying, apart from if you watched the very front of the march where they were holding an FLA banner. Other than that, there was no flags, no banners, because you weren't allowed it. So it's...
Who was that? Was it FLA who didn't allow banners?
To be honest, I don't know whether this idea was by the police or by the FLA or by the pair of them. Like I say, to a degree, I do think the FLA have kind of gone a little bit light. Let's say Pepsi light on the whole rally. But I will say this, Peter. Let me just say this. They've gone very Pepsi light on the whole rally. The rally went without a real serious event in any way. It was only positive, you know, but at the same time, they could have really gone a bit further in maybe the rhetoric, and, you know, but, you know, fair play to him. It's better than not having a march at all. You know, 73,000 people plus the multi-thousand people that have watched it through streaming, through uploads, through sharing. So it's been worthwhile. You know, when I was actually videoing some of the clips as I was streaming it, I think it was on the first clip before I was going down to announce that I was going down to the march. There was a couple of people that commented saying, this march is pointless. And it's like, it's not really pointless. I get what you're saying. It's not going to change radical Islam, just like that. But it's a start. If you can get the average person to recognise and feel your pain and get on board, and if that march comes across in a positive vein and makes people think, you know what, next time I want to be involved in that march, then it's been worth it. Certainly been worth it. So I hope the people who said that, I hopefully they will change their mind, you know, as time develops. But the the Phil Campion, the Tommy Robinson affair has definitely put a dampener on it. I hope them two can sort it out. Personally, I think Tommy's a great guy and he does nothing but hard work for the cause. So he didn't need to be treated the way he got treated by Phil Campion. Phil Campion is kind of a bit of a novice on the rally scene compared to what Tommy Robinson's done over the years and the sacrifices he makes on a daily basis. So, I think he could have handled it a little bit better. So,
yeah, no, I think if you look at the march, I think they seem a bit moderate, a bit kind of a little bit pandering too much to political correctness. By the way, I just want to give a shout out here in the live chat here to Tire QW, who donated to the show. Big shout out there to you. Thank you so much. It means a lot. I'm 100% fan funded, so thank you so much for that. Big shout out to you. Everyone who donates gets a shout out on stream. Yes. So I was saying, I thought the guys. It's a huge turnout. 72,000 that's really, really good. But I just think that they have tried to pan a little bit too much to political correctness. They're calling it the march against extremism instead of terrorism, which, considering how the UK government recently has been blabbering on about how they need to clamp down on extremism, but they actually mean the far right people. That's a little bit worrying that they're using the word extremism, because that means they are referring to the so-called far right people like Tommy Robinson and people like me when they use that word.
Well, yeah, it's people have brought them concerns up, and it's legitimate, Peter. Personally, I feel the same way. I don't feel it was going far enough and really homing in. I'm being semantical. I'm not saying generally sweep. I'm saying absolutely eloquently point out where the problem lies. Home in, say it out, say it loud, and then let's get over it. Now, I think these guys, if it was to make an analogy, I would say probably Tommy Robinson is your full fat Coke, okay? And I would think the FLA is your Diet Pepsi. I think they are more acceptable. I think they probably will get through doing more marches without them being castigated as much. Maybe not, but not as heavy as the likes of Tommy Robinson. So I think it's like an air balloon. And I think Tommy Robinson was a sandbag that they've released in order to gain a bit more traction, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that agree with Tommy Robinson.
The thing is, Tommy Robinson's is not far right at all. He's almost kind of left wing, but he has bad optics because of the EDL stuff that he used to do. That's hung with him. Kind of ideology-wise, he's actually not very far right at all. I know by speaking to Kalen a bit, and he's just a good guy, but he is not very he's not very right-wing as some people think. To be honest, I think people. My ideal would probably be a bit more right-wing than Tommy Robinson.
That would probably be fair to say. And I think Anne-Marie Waters might agree with you there, mate.
Yeah. No, it's and I wouldn't even say that I'm not far right. Compared to what people were back in the 50s, I'm not far right. I'm recently. The thing is, they pushed over on Windows so much that. Anyone to write a Stalin is now far right. Theresa May they call her a conservative, but she's actually she's actually pretty far left, very far left, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's,
so basically,
well, there's a chap I often listen to called David Icke. Now, a lot of people know a David Icke, and they've got their own theories on what he's all about. Now, for me, the one thing I gravitate to with David Icke, he talks a lot about consciousness and stuff. Now, I think where he talks in regards to that, he is absolutely bob on, and many other things as well. But there's one thing he talks about, and it's what he calls the perception deception. How they've changed. And you mentioned it just a minute ago, the Overton window. They've changed the outlook, but the outlook has not changed at all. But your perception of the outlook, they are changing it for you. And in reality, it's not gone anywhere. It's still exactly the same. So that's why people like me and you, which have still got common sense, and people like everyone listening now, are still seeing the Overton window, still seeing the old perception the way it used to be, whereas the Liberals have been brainwashed into seeing it in the new way, the new speak, you know? And I struggle with it. I cannot see how they can change the perception, but yet the perception still means the same thing at the same time. You're either changing it radically or it's not changing at all. Now, I can only go through my own life experiences. So either I'm absolutely going crazy or there is a big, massive perception change here. You know, so we're all living through very strange times. Very strange times. We're going to explain to our children, our grandchildren, how messed up life was, how, you know, things were polarized, how people were branded this when they really wasn't that, how we do this when it's really seen as that. Meanwhile, you've got people who live over there who are more concerned about the shopping, more concerned about this, more concerned about getting the Botox, more concerned about their eyebrows, and it's a really crazy time.
Have you seen the latest trend?
Oh no, I thought the weird one was the eyebrows. You're not going to up that one, Peter.
No. You have to
really?
See this.
Oh no.
It is much worse. Oh, you have to see this one. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to see if I can find the screenshot here. This one is... you really have to prepare yourself for this one. There's a new trend out.
Oh my God.
Let me try and find it here. Hang on. Let's see if I have it here somewhere. Just a minute. Let me find it. I have to go and just wait for my computer to open something up here. Let's just take a little while.
Have you noticed my lovely T-shirt in the background there, Peter?
Yes, I see that. I heard something that say just another march going on this weekend, I think.
That's right, yeah.
In Sunderland.
In good old Sunderland, yeah. Justice for Chelsea.
And I would have wanted to go, but well, I'm in Norway and I'm not coming to the UK anytime soon. So.
Oh, mate. Can you not come in and put a wig on? Is it not to come in like a Michael Jackson disguise or something like that?
Okay, now I found a screenshot here. Everyone, prepare for a serious trigger warning. This is the worst you've ever seen. So this is the new trend. Nose hair extensions are the next hot beauty trend. Everyone needs to try this.
Wow. 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 Now, I've got one big question here, Peter. Is this literally cultural Marxism, okay? Or is this one really messed up leftist outgrowing armpit. They kind of, it's like, how many orifices do you need your hair to grow out of? You know, it's like, okay, I want to show as a female I've got it sprouting out of my armpits. Fine. You want to have little bushes under your armpits. Fine. Now you want them sprouting out your nostrils. It's like, wow. You know, if I see that, you know, I've got this, I wouldn't say a pet hate, but there's, you know, everyone's got little certain things, yeah? So when you tend to be having conversations with people, okay, and you might suddenly home in on a certain part of their face when they're talking to you. Now, you're not being rude and you're trying not to pay too much attention to it, but at the same time, you can't take your frigging eyes off it, yeah? Now, what is going on there?
This is on YouTube, famous like makeup. I got you non-champion. There's the first one here, it's got 95,000 views. The second one here, 40,000 views. And these are people actually trying out the nose hair extension trend. I'm not kidding you. This is on YouTube. Go and search it for yourselves, guys. I am not kidding. People are actually doing this.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
It's not enough. It's not enough. I mean, this looks like a butthole. I mean,
you know,
what are they doing?
I tell you what, mate. I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to polish the top of your bottle, you could just kind of, you know, just kind of give it up there and give it a little swivel. And it's like, well, what is going on? What is going on?
I mean, it seems like pensioners are all of a sudden in trend here now.
Yeah, exactly. They do say everything comes round in a loop. So now you've got some grey-haired pensioners all over the land that'll now be
now in trend.
Yeah, they'll be walking round in vans and, you know, Tommy Hilfiger and feeling right in there, you know, because they've got ear hair growing out and nasal hair growing out, and their eyebrows are kind of, you know, doing little curls all over the place. It's like, you know. Yeah, I just don't get it, mate. We are entering strange times, Peter.
A guy in the corner here, restricted ventilation.
I'll say. I mean, that's got to be a messy affair if you ever get kind of a cold and stuff. What's going on there? I mean, you know.
I have no idea. I mean, what are these guys even thinking anymore?
I mean, Peter, say you're at a romantic meal for two, okay? Say you sneeze. You've got a nice little a la carte meal there, exactly. You've got a bit of the old nasal fluid there with a little bit of extension attached to it. And it's like, thank you very much. Thank you. All over my steak and chips. Thank you. I've already got, you know, steak Diane sauce or peppercorn sauce. I didn't need any of your nasal kind of flavorings. No, yeah, you know what? It's weird, mate. Weird. I could not look at anyone seriously and have a serious conversation with that in.
I'm really lost for words. I mean, these guys are now just beyond the point of no return, really. I mean, these guys have just lost it. I mean, completely lost it.
We're entering the days of Nero. I'm telling you, the days of absolute lunacy. I'm waiting.
It's idiocracy is happening.
Crazy. I'm waiting for someone to marry a pet, if it's not already happened.
Oh yeah, that's probably happened.
You know,
in Canada they legalized the bestiality, I think. Yeah.
I've seen. Whoa, yeah. I've seen. Okay, mate. You kind of changed the subject somewhat there a little bit. Yeah, no, I've seen pets. I've seen people fascinate over their pets enough where if they have a male pet, I've seen it was a Chihuahua, I think, they've then found another couple or another person that has a spouse, which is a Chihuahua, and then they have arranged for them two Chihuahuas to legally get wed with or without nasal extensions.
Well, it's actually in Sweden. They're talking about there's a gender discrimination against female dogs now in Sweden. Apparently, they want to rebuild the dog parks because it's gender discrimination against female dogs for some reason.
What?
That's apparently something they're doing in Sweden. So yeah, they're getting quite insane.
Okay. So by implementation of what did they propose to do there? Just ban all male dogs going into the park, or?
Well, the thing is they have to keep the female dogs on a leash when they're on heat. Otherwise, the male dogs get too wild. So that's gender discrimination against the female dogs. So they have to keep them on lead. So they want to rebuild the park so they can let them off lead.
Can I just ask one question, Peter? Has anybody bothered to ask the dog if the dog feels that way or not? I mean, say the dog's saying, you know what, I'm quite happy for this geezer to get all on me. I'm on heat. I want a little something. So stop it. Never mind telling me I'm oppressed. I want something. I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, the next thing they're probably going to claim that the dogs want to be transgender as well now, and they need to accommodate for that. I guess that's probably the next thing.
You know, how can you speak for a dog when unless you're a dog whisperer, and even then, I've still got questions. It's like, let the dog be the dog. If a dog wants to be a dog, it's going to be a dog. But that is a left for you. It's only quite normal for them to want to control an animal's life like they want to control a human's life. It's no different. They just feel that they have to get in between someone doing something, you know. It's like, so hold on, a female and a male dog having a bit in a park, right? Okay, if the female dog doesn't want it, the female dog tends to bite. The female dog tends to let the male dog know. And if the female dog does get dominated by that male, then that is kind of natural selection, and that is the way nature goes on. Deers do it, bears do it, sheep do it. That's the way it is, you know? So why does a government decide that they want to go, well, no, that shouldn't be the case? You know? There's common sense. I can't see the logic in that, my friend, one bit.
Yeah, no, the logic is not there among the leftists today. That's oh, by the way, I found this while I was on Twitter. I found this image here from me in Norway here, by the way. Do you want to see what it looks like?
Yes.
Here, right now?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is my view.
Oh, you are joking me. Look at that. You know what? It's just like at the side of my house, that Peter.
Yeah, that's just like Manchester. That's
yeah, it is. It is. The M60 just runs along the side there. Oh, look at that.
Here's me after taking a ferry. There's snow on the mountaintops up here. There's a little village around here. Strangely enough, these villages around here, they're missing the kebab shops.
Oh,
kebab.
Right.
There's no kebab shops around here.
No halal meat.
No halal meat. No, yeah. No, it's kind of missing the diversity. I need some more cultural enrichment.
Oh, yes, mate.
Alps we have. It kind of looks like the Alps in Germany, if you ask me. It's really nice. Here's a little river that I went to. Snow-covered mountaintops in the background here. It's pretty nice around here.
Oh, wow. That looks so picturesque, mate. You're so lucky. You really are. That looks lovely and fresh. The air looks clear.
Oh, yeah, the air is really... And the water you see there, by the way, that's actually seawater. That's actually... So you can actually just go fishing. You get like cod and everything, crabs. Yeah, it's actually seawater.
Right, I assumed that was fresh water I was looking at there.
No, that's seawater.
Oh, wow. Absolutely gorgeous, mate. I'm not surprised you don't want to come back. I'm not surprised. I think the last thing you should have done is show them photos. I think you're going to get a load of immigrants heading your way now, my friend. That's it.
It's not that many immigrants here in Norway, to be honest. By the way, do you think we should start to wrap this up, maybe?
Yeah.
Do you want to finish on? What do you think about the FLA march going forward? Do you think there's any future for them? I mean, I think they're going to have some more marches. And are you going to the Justice for Chelsea march this weekend in Sunderland as well? What's your plans?
Yes, the most immediate this Saturday in Sunderland, Justice for Chelsea. I'll be going to that with my friend Barry, meet up with Jordan and Seb and stuff. FLA, I'm sure there is more planned. I did hear on the grapevine there was one planned for Manchester. I've not spoke to any organisers, so I've no idea on serious plans and what's actually been organised and what's rumour. To be fair, I'll keep going. I thought it was a brilliant match. I think it's something that obviously can develop. It'll be interesting to see how the next one develops from this one.
Yeah.
You know, because of what's happened and the way it's happened. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So you're going to and watching if you want to head there. It's in Sunderland on Saturday, was it? So you could go to Chelsea watch there. I don't know who else will be there. I'm not sure if Tom is going or not. But
I'm not sure myself. I know Lucy was there last time, I do believe. Now whether Rebel is standing up again.
I was there last time.
Of course she was, mate. Of course. I know, and it's going to be strange not seeing you there because it was because of you I come up the last time, if you remember. It's because of that stream.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And I'm going to be completely honest. I'm probably not going to be back in the UK for at least several years. That's so everyone knows that. So yeah.
Well, that's a pity to hear, Peter. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in this country that'll be quite sad to hear that because you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work for everyone in this country to kind of appreciate and lock onto. So I'm sure a lot of people will thank you for that, and they're obviously sorry that it's come to the state of affairs that it has done. So
yeah, it's because of the conservative UK government. I'm not. That's the reason why I'm not coming back to the UK at the moment. You can thank the conservatives for that. So yeah, I mean, I have plans coming up. I'm considering going to some of the no-go zones in Sweden. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Okay. Right.
Hopefully we will actually be going with someone else quite well known, very well known.
Is that a secret later to come out?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that now in case that person doesn't want me to say. I almost said agenda there, so people might probably have known who that was if I said it.
Oh, I think you've already kind of said it, mate. Oh, I think you've already kind of said it, but you haven't. But yes, no, it sounds exciting. So when's that due to take place?
Well, we're hoping to go. Hopefully in November.
Right.
We're going to see.
Right. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap this live stream up here, by the way. So share it with your friends. Let people know about what happened there in London at the FLA March. Phil was there, and he all told about it earlier on in the video. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, guys. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all later.